Hey everybody, Off the Mic Sports Network here, another edition of Off the Top Rope. AEW has been in the news, and obviously, it's WrestleMania week. Nick Khan's making the rounds, Triple H is making the rounds, and so a quote from Nick Khan. He did an interview. I think it was with CNBC. It was with CNBC, and so he talks about basically. Um, he talks about a bunch of AEW wrestlers potentially jumping ship to WWE once their contracts expire. And the quote reads something like, "In terms of other promotional, they have a lot of talented wrestlers, and we're happy about that. And when they're contractually able to become available, we might take some of them because they don't want to stay there." And Julian Weeks, who I've referenced here on this channel, he said, "What did Nick actually say wrong?" He said, "When wrestlers who are interested in jumping to WWE are able to, then they will consider bringing them over." Fans getting mad about this, but a wrestler getting mad about that makes no sense to me. And this is in response to Ricochet, of all people. Ricochet, um, it's just Ricochet just seems to have this really bad habit of just whether it's in character or whether it's who he is, he has really just found a way to just stick his foot in his mouth a lot. And it's really gotten to the point of, what the fuck did I watch for the last 6 years with this guy? Because, you know, I like the wrestler and I like the performer. And, one thing before I get to my point here, Ricochet has been very entertaining in AEW after the initial push of him as a babyface didn't work out. They turned him heel. He's actually turned into a very entertaining performer. He's gotten into some pretty good matches, and he's actually won a decent amount. He hasn't drifted off into obscurity, which I thought he might when he joined AEW. So I give him credit for that. But responding to Nick Khan for something he said publicly, and he goes, "Oh man, these guys fucking suck." And then so Julian Weeks basically says, "What did he say wrong?" Fans getting mad about this is one thing, but a wrestler getting mad about that makes no sense. Talking about keeping wrestlers or talking about wrestlers jumping to other companies when you jumped from one place to the other. And then so Ricochet responds to Julian here, and he goes, "Reader, listen to the rest of the post. They constantly mention Tony's dad like some big joke about AEW during their biggest week of the year. They are losers." Okay, Ricochet, my advice to you, man, is I think you're a very talented performer. I think you're very limited on the microphone, but you need to shut the hell up, because the last thing that AEW needs is mouthpieces for Tony Khan. I understand that Tony has stuck his foot in his mouth, but this makes AEW look so weak, and it almost makes it look like Tony is sending these people out to like protect him. And whether that's the case or not, you don't need to fight his battles. Okay. It's his company. You're getting paid a lot of money to perform for it. You should be very fortunate that you are there and you are actually being booked very well, because I thought you weren't going to be booked very well. To respond, and I understand Julian is kind of a divisive figure in the internet wrestling community. For some people, think he ball washes WWE a little bit too much. You know what? Whatever. You can say that about me. I don't think that's the case. I'm very fair. But I did not like this from Ricochet. You don't need to fight Tony Khan's battles. You sound like an idiot. You play a heel on television. You don't. The thing with AEW people is they have this tendency to go to social media and be the Twitter keyboard warriors. Guys, you are getting paid millions of dollars, and you don't need to get involved in the internet shit. That's what CM Punk got driven crazy about with the Young Bucks. Stay off the fucking internet. Focus on your craft on television. This is AEW's problem. They are chronically on the internet. They are chronically in like, fans' feelings, or like, paying attention to what the criticism is for their company. Focus on trying to fix what you're doing, because, and I give credit to JD from New York, who I've always, I listen, like, he's a divisive figure as well, but it's just like, why are you protecting Tony Khan when he literally went on worldwide television a year ago on NFL Network in a neck brace and basically said that WWE was the Harvey Weinstein of wrestling? Like, what are we doing? Tony Khan does not need you to fight his battles. He can stick his foot in his mouth and be a Twitter keyboard warrior for himself. Like, more and more by the day, I'm starting to lose respect for Ricochet, because it doesn't do you any good to, go on Twitter when you're not being booked on television and, standing up for your boss just because, you don't like what some random guy who you don't even know on the internet and just basically go after him. And this isn't the first time that Ricochet's gone after JD. He's gone after Julian, as I mentioned. It's just like, what does this accomplish? It doesn't accomplish anything. And this is the type of shit that drives me crazy about AEW. And Ricochet is a guy I have a lot of respect for what he's done with his craft. I have a lot of respect for the way he kind of reimagined himself when he was put into a corner. A lot of people would have folded up and not been successful. But this is the type of shit that drives people away. This is the type of shit that makes people not want to watch AEW. It's like, you don't need to stand up for Tony Khan. People don't need to be like sycophants to him, okay? And maybe that's your obligation. Maybe he puts you up to it. I don't care. The point is, you need to shut up. You just need to shut up, okay? Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.